Hello everyone. Now we talk about political apparatus and bureaucracy. Imagine a human. Human have soul to driving spirit or logic, have mind to controller or as a mastermind, and have body as apparatus and structures. Same as politics, body as the political apparatus and structure. The political apparatus and bureaucracy, general term referring to the entire government system and the people who run it, or the institution and practices that maintain and sustain government. A typical democratic system as a constitution have institutions such as executive, legislative, and judiciary. And the institution have apparatus like executive have ministries and military, legislative have representatives, and judiciary have Supreme Court and law enforcement. In Indonesia, based on 1945 Constitution, Indonesia have institutions such as executive, legislative, and judiciary, and have apparatus like executive have ministries and military, legislative have people assembly such as House of Representatives and regional representatives, and judiciary have Supreme Court, Constitutional Court, Judicial Commission, and religious or customary court. Essential elements of apparatus: first, executive to make decisions; second, legislative to make regulation; the third is judiciary to uphold justice; fourth, military to protect the state; and the last, fifth, law enforcement to enforce law. So, next we discuss one by one. First, executive. What are the executive? Executive, who are the ones who execute the law. Example, Prime Minister or President, along with their appointed officials. General function of the executor are as a ceremonial or symbolic, policy making, popular leading, bureaucratic leadership, and crisis leadership. Okay, the second is legislative. Legislative are the ones who represent the people in government and formulates policy. General function of the legislative are as a representation to check executive power, training grounds, formulate and approve laws, sometimes in consultation with executive, formulate and approve state budget and legitimacy. Then, judiciary. Judiciaries are the ones who interpret and administer justice, and they are relatively independent and have the power to check both the executive and legislative. General function of the judiciary, or namely interpreting legislation, include revising, amending, and abolishing, arbiter of justice, upholding the constitution, checking and balancing legislative and executive, and providing legal counsel for citizens. Then, military, the armed force of the state, responsible for matters of national security. In some cases, the military can be separate from politics or heavily involved. Separate subfield of political science known as civil-military relations. General function of the military are to protecting the sovereignty of the state and executive national security directives as defined by the executive authority. So, what happens when the military runs the state? When the military runs the state, the military may plot a coup d'etat, in which they overthrow the executive authority and establish their own. Then, law enforcement or LEA, the enforcement of the law responsible for maintaining law and order within the state. Law enforcement not only limited to police, but can refer to any institution that is empowered to enforce the law using force. General functions of the LEA are 1. Upholding and enforcing the law. 2. Providing public safety. 3. Lawful seizure and or arrest. 4. Carry out covert or overt investigation. Ideal apparatus. 1. Should be able to carry out their duties and preserve the state and constitution. 2. Should be able to fulfill the common interest. 3. Should not have unchecked power. In the conclusion, the political apparatus generally comprises of three major branches of government that make up the governmental system. The ideal division of power between these institutions is the central issue of political science and philosophy.